Yo, 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 what is happening, everybody? What's up, Carla D? Monday. I'm guessing everybody here in the States or in my time zone is heading home, starting that week off. Uh gonna just keep it light today. We're not gonna talk about nothing too heavy. Been doing that a little bit lately. Nothing too cray cray, as it were. What's up, Cray Cray 420? How you doing? We so But just to knock it out of the way, um we all know, and I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but I'm assuming that it's pronounced the way that it's spelled. Um so I'm just gonna say Gannon Stouch. Um and it could be Gannon Stock. I'm not 100% sure. I really don't know how you pronounce it. But we have been, many of us have been following that case very closely. And last night I was live on Real Massacre Talk with Danielle for hours, discussing the little that we know about this case. And hey, Sulfur Music. Hey, Mandy, Texas Gal. Yeah, so I did upload that. So that's also on the channel. So if you're not subscribed to Real Massacre Talk, go ahead and subscribe to her if you can. I also, again, I went ahead and uploaded that live onto this channel. So you can go ahead and check it out there. It's a long one, man. Uh and in the middle of it, I did try to do like a dual live stream with my channel and hers, but that didn't work out. Sound issues, sound delays were happening on both my side and hers. So hey, what's up, Devil Mike? So that was an issue. So we stopped doing that. We stopped that and we didn't keep going with it. But Danielle went ahead and gave me the blessing to go ahead and upload that live here on this channel. So if you want to check that out, if you missed it, because it was late, it definitely ran late and it was a long one. So go ahead and check that out if you can. And there's still, if you don't know Real Massacre Talk, Danielle from that channel, she and I have been collaborating closely on the Heidi Broussard case. And since Megan Fieramusca has been charged with capital murder, there have not been any developments since that yet. But as soon as there are any developments, you will hear that here or and there. So hey, what's up, Wicked Witch? What's up, Hartley? So there's that stuff. And I don't know if anybody watched that Super Bowl last night, man. That was pretty the thing is, my thing with Super Bowls, like I'm not a football fan. Like I like football and I understand football. So when a game's on, I enjoy football, but I'm not I don't follow the players. I don't follow the management decisions that take place in the NFL or even in college football. I don't follow any of that stuff. I don't. At the end of the day, I don't care. But I do like an exciting game. And ironically, Super Bowls are rarely ever, to me, very exciting games. Way too much defense. There's no scoring going on. They're not fun games to watch, and you think it would be the funnest game to watch, but because they're the best teams in the NFL playing against each other for the championship, they're going to play very, very carefully, and they're not going to take a lot of high risks. And and it's not going to make for a very good game, and there's going to be a lot of defense. And and I'm I'm glad that the Patriots were not in in the Super Bowl. I'm sick of seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So yeah, it was cool because and I'm the kind of guy that likes to root for the underdog too. And Kansas City is definitely the underdog. I mean, they haven't won a Super Bowl in 50 years. And they just owned that fourth quarter, man. They that it was interesting to watch. It was okay for the first three quarters and not a lot going on. But man, that fourth quarter, man, they really pulled it out. Kansas City just happened. They owned that fourth quarter. It was really fun to watch. It was really a fun thing to get into. So congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs for their win. And couple other things. You guys have heard me. You guys have heard me talk about Mary Marlo. I don't know if anybody here follows Mary Marlo. I'm not going to dwell too much on that, but I want to just kind of since I talked about it, since I talked about her and her channel before, and I mean, it's a lot of just craziness going on in that channel, just a lot of nonsense, and I wasn't sure if she was just really smart and just saying the most outlandishly crazy things just to get people to watch her channel. I'm not sure if that was her strategy, but I'm not feeling that way now. I'm thinking she's pretty she's legit not and she's her latest thing apparently is that well, first thing was she was all about finding justice for Shanann and the root checks, and then at some point in a strange turn of events, Frank Ruchek ended up in her chat. Possibly even Frank Jr. ended up in her chat, basically telling her to stop. That justice has been served, and the person who's responsible for Shanann and Bella and Cece's death is currently in prison, and that's it. That's all there is to it. And you can't seek justice for people who aren't looking for it any further. They've gotten the justice that they were looking for. I think most of us with any time way. And then I'm not even including people who feel like Nicole Kessinger may have been involved. That's valid to feel that way, I guess, to a certain degree. I don't think that the facts are there for that to support that, but I understand people having theories and believing that, and I'm not faulting them for that. But this Mary Marlo takes this to a whole nother level, man. She takes this to a place that's she's talking about Chris's coworkers that are involved and all kinds of just a whole network of people apparently that are involved in this crime and are getting away with it. And to me, that's just outrageous. And I think to a lot of us it is. And so after that turn of events with the Ruchek showing up in her chat, she then basically admits to what I've always says, drug-induced psychosis. Well, she doesn't admit that. She admits that she has a drug problem, and apparently she's been going live, or not going live, but posting videos of her withdrawal process, which is not a fun thing to look at. By the way, I've seen people go through withdrawals, and it's definitely not something that you want to post on the internet of yourself. And I think, to address your comment here, you know, yeah, there's people out there that can't let that case go, but nobody's really taking those people seriously anymore, really. I think we've all gotten to a point, and when we've seen all the behavior surrounding this case, and we've seen the Lifetime movie being what it was, and just all the madness that's come with it. I think we're all pretty much over it. People left over are the people who don't really seem to be able to have a real firm grip on reality. And Mary Marlo is definitely in that category, in my opinion, right now. But if you notice right now, I'm not laughing and I'm not making jokes, because I think her admitting that she has a drug problem, I think that deserves, I think it deserves a certain amount of respect. Now, I don't agree with her. Like I said, I don't agree with her with her going about letting everyone know, posting what she says are videos of her going through withdrawal. I don't think that's, I don't know about that. Because the ironic part is, now her theories have gotten even wilder. I'm trying not to use the word crazy talk about her, just if you haven't noticed. I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to be as empathetic with her as I can be. But you don't, yeah. I'm sitting here and I'm watching these videos, and I'm, she's talking about how, after the whole thing with the root checks, and after she posts that she's going through withdrawals, and things of that nature. Hey, Holly Love. Hey, Lufa. Hey, Doodlebug. She goes through these. She goes through this thing where she talks about Shanann was suffering from Munchausen by proxy. First of all, nobody here is qualified to say something like that. And second of all, the manner in which she says she obtained that information was during a, quote, moment of clarity. That's not a moment of clarity. A moment of clarity is when you see things that are true. All of a sudden, you have a realization of how things actually are. That is pure delusion. And it's not helping. It's not helping their family. It's not helping anybody who actually wants answers from this case, who are still following, which I think we've got all the answers. I've been very clear about that, but that's not helping. And yeah, she did call it a download, Susan. And so here she goes talking about that she is that the same people that she thought were involved, but Shanann was not. And I think she's justifying these things by saying that she suffered from Munchausen by proxy, and still kind of saving face by making her out to be a victim. So I think that she's still very much doing. I think that she's very much aware of the things that she's saying, and I think that she's aware of the damage that it can cause. And it's, again, it's still very irresponsible. So if you're admittedly a drug addict and you're trying to get yourself clean, I'm not convinced that you're trying to get yourself clean when you're coming up with things like this, and I'm not convinced that you're. I'm not convinced that you're like I never was, that you're seeking answers and justice for a family that's suffering. But um, so when I see this person make these videos and say things like this, it kind it makes me mad a little bit. I think it's you know, I'm I'm basically getting at, I'm seeing someone who has admitted that she has a drug problem, uh but you know, kudos to her for admitting that she has this problem. But I'm not believing that she's taking the proper steps to address this drug problem. I don't think she's being honest uh about going through any withdrawals or anything like that. I'm not believing that right now. Yeah, Lufa, that's the crazy part, is people have people. She has a very, very diehard network of followers that listen to her. It's very, very strange. And yeah, she's but I think she's really, really she's really gone off the deep end. Um she's, you know, so far as to say that Chris didn't kill the kids, that he was telling the truth, that Shanann did it. And that's just plain awful. That's too far. It's too far. Uh, so I'm not. I'm trying to figure out if I'm thinking that she's just a shitty person, or she's just struggling with a drug addiction. But here's the thing about that. I'm going to change subjects and take it off of Mary Marlo. I'm just kind of using her as an example to segue into my point here. Um, you know, we look at people like Megan Faramuska, right? And we look at her and we think that's, you know, that's a drug induced psychosis. That's a narcotic induced psychosis. Uh, and and yeah, Honey Bunches, you're right. You can absolutely be both a shitty person and just suffering from an addiction. Absolutely. Um, um, sorry, I'm looking at chat here at the same time. Right. No, CJ Green, I think she's definitely not done. And I think that what she's trying to do, honestly, is I think she's trying to just she's afraid of losing her channel, and I think she's in love with her own image, and she's in her viewers see her, and she's just making wild shit up, and to the point to where she's convincing herself of it to be true. These are not visions that she's having during withdrawal, and painting him to be a picture of someone who's having these visions due to enlightenment and bettering herself. That's not what's happening here, and that's what she's trying to convince people of, and that's not what's going on. She's also begging for money. You don't do that. You don't admit to having a drug problem and then start begging for money saying that you're broke. As a matter of fact, if you're going through withdrawals, that would tell me that you would normally have on drugs, probably not spending it on a lot of food. So you would probably actually have more money than you normally would, I would think, personally, because you're just there's money there. And I think that she's making videos in order to continue this income because she has all this support. And but if you guys are supporting Mary Marlo and what she's doing right now, or you believe that you're supporting her, there's a big difference between supporting someone and enabling them. And I think all anyone's doing right now, if they're sending her money, if they are watching her channel and super chatting and these sort of things, I don't see. I simply just I don't see that as being supportive of her. I think right now what she needs, what anybody needs, is the tried and true method of somebody that's in her position, who is admitting to having a drug problem, and B, basically describing delusions. So what you don't do is enable someone, because I don't even think she's even hit bottom yet. And I think when she does hit bottom, it's going to be real bad. And I'm genuinely concerned for her. Before, it was just kind of funny. I just thought that she was just somebody that liked to get high and talk about dumb shit. And she was lying in order to make some monetization for her channel. But now I'm thinking that she genuinely believes the stuff that she's talking about, and becoming more and more in love, and becoming more and more adamant and stubborn about what she's doing, because I think she's convinced herself that she's got these delusions of grandeur of someone who is leading some sort of crusade that is only in her head. And that's really, really sad to me. So if you're watching her and you're sending, I mean, yeah, that's not good for her. That's not good for her. No, Lufa, actually, she has me blocked. And for good reason too. She has me blocked because I made fun of her. I made fun of her in the beginning, and I stand by it. It was at the time, this was somebody who was accusing people of hacking, and she was just she was basically just being an asshole and being adamant about what she was saying, and being totally overwhelming about it. And right. If you say anything even remotely against anything that she's trying to say or put out there, if you do that with her, she's going to block you. She doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear reason. She's not rational at all. And so there's no right now, there's no convincing her of anything. All she wants right now is support. And all she wants right now is people to enable her in her delusions and in what she's doing with herself. That's what she wants. And she knows that the only way The best about doing that, or at least she thinks that the best way to go about doing that, is by saying, I have a drug problem and look how strong I am, going cold turkey and putting myself through it, putting myself through the process of sobriety, which I don't think that she's doing. I think that she's as bad into her drug addiction as she's ever been, if not at worst. Um, so right, anybody who disagrees with her is a troll. Absolutely, CJ Green. This is, I mean, we've seen this with other creators too. Any other creators, anybody who disagrees, or says or makes a valid point that is contrary to what they are saying, you're blocked. They don't want to hear it. You're a troll. You're out to get her. You're probably responsible for hacking into her computer. I mean, it's all the behavior of somebody who's very, very paranoid, and very, very delusional. And yeah, Doodlebug, I agree with you. And I don't, I don't, uh, it's funny because funny queer, not funny haha, because I used to think it was funny haha. And I don't anymore. I don't anymore. And I would also encourage anybody out there that makes videos about her, uh, making fun of her, probably to not do that. Because at one point, there was a point where she was in a place where it seemed like making fun of her might make her kind of wake up and go, geez, look at what a jackass I'm acting like. But that hasn't worked. So now, yeah, I would encourage anybody who's making funny videos about Mary Marlo right now, because I'm seeing somebody who's really going through a really hard time, and I empathize with her, because I've been there. But the main thing that she's failing to do, I think, is take any accountability for her actions. She's taking accountability in the sense that she's saying, okay, yeah, I have a drug problem, but I don't think that she's taking the steps to fix it. I think she's using the appearance of taking accountability as a method to reinforce her credibility, so that people will believe the things that she's saying. I think she knows what she's doing. And yeah, Lufa, then yeah, I know I do. But yeah, I think she knows what she's doing. I think she's very aware of what she's doing. And I think all it is, I don't even think that she believes the things that she's saying. I think what she's doing to a certain degree is, hey, what's up, Save Robbie? I think what she's doing is basically just doing what an addict would do, and basically manipulating anyone in her life to see her point of view, and try to get what she can from them. She wants validation, and she wants money. That's what she wants right now. And I think it's only coming from a place of being an addict and feeding her addiction. And I'm not judging her for that. I feel bad for her, in that sense, but I don't feel bad for her enough to enable her. Definitely not. And I don't think anybody else should either. I think people should see her for what she is, and what she needs right now is some tough love, I think. uh and so if you're supporting her channel, I think that's the way to support her. You know, if she cleans herself up, I'm not saying to just drop her, but I'm saying understand that she's not doing anything um productive, saying anything productive. And before, my concern was her having such a following and her feeding this following that she has a lot of misinformation. But now I'm not even so concerned about that. I think most people have enough common sense to see that what she's saying is completely and totally off the wall. And hey, what's up, Miss Jane? How you doing? I think what she's doing is, and what she's saying is completely off the wall. And now I think I'm more concerned about her than I am her listeners. So at this time, I'm hoping that anybody here who's listening, um, and honestly, you know, I would give Mary Marlo permission to stream this live. To be honest, she can take it and post it on her page, and she can tear me apart, and she can criticize anything that I'm saying and defend herself in any way that she wants what I'm saying. I have no problem with that. What I'm concerned with is I want her listeners to see this perspective and kind of understand that she is not in a good place right now, and she really needs some tough love. And I'm saying, don't enable her by commenting on her videos that are enabling that are feeding her delusions, because that's the worst thing for her, I think, right now. That and sending her money, uh, those things are not good. And I promise you that when she does get sober, and when she does um, get better at what once she accomplishes achieving a place of self-awareness and moving forward towards self-improvement, and starts genuinely taking those steps, and you'll see the difference. She will post videos and you will see the difference in her. I promise you that. And when she does, you'll know it. And she'll also know that you guys were always there to support her. She'll understand in that place. Once she gets to that place, she'll understand. At first, she'll say, oh, you guys are all like everybody else. And she'll manipulate you and say, you don't care about me, and blah, blah, blah. She'll lash out the way that most addicts do. Almost all of them, actually. So what she'll do is she'll put the blame on you, and she'll put the responsibility on you, that if nobody believes me, if I don't have you guys, then I have nobody, and that's it. And then she'll probably go as far as to threaten suicide in order to manipulate everybody. She'll say very, very ominous things to make you worried and manipulate you. But I really genuinely believe that the best thing to do with her right now, don't unsubscribe to her channel. That's not what I'm saying to do. I'm saying just don't enable her with your comments, and give her a chance to reflect on what's going on here. And if you do, don't say anything negative to her either, because she'll just block you. And I know you guys don't want to be blocked, because there's a lot of her listeners who genuinely care about her. And if she hears this, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I know she has no reason to believe me, but there's a lot of people here that have struggled with addiction and are still struggling with it. People who are subscribed to my channel and listen to it, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere, and I don't think that she's going to take any she's not going to take anything of value from anything that I'm saying to her right now, based on the way that I've behaved towards her in the past, which I understand, and that's okay. But I'm here. she can reach out to me, and and I'm going to go ahead and put that email out there. Um, so if yeah, because the reason why, guys, and I know I'm saying things that we all already know, but for those of you who don't understand how addiction is, the reason why addiction is so bad is because eventually you're addicted to these substances. They can kill you. You build a tolerance to them. You build a tolerance to them as far as how high you get, more and more and more, and then eventually your dosage just gets so high that all it takes is just one bad night, and and for this to happen, that's my fear with her right now. And if this were to happen, um yeah, I'd feel awful. I'd feel absolutely awful, just because I've been there before. um so uh but going back to what I was saying, for those of you who don't really understand how addiction works, um giving her money, that's just going to enable her addiction that much more. And by giving her money, you're basically putting bullets into her gun, that she is holding up to her head on a constant basis. So yeah, don't do that. I implore you, don't send Mary Marlo money right now, at least not right now. um her 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 demeanor is that to me, of someone who is not willing to listen to anyone. So I think that she really has to hit bottom on her own. uh and I've listened to her lives in the past, and I do think that she actually has a support system. I think that she has, according to her, a decent relationship with her own parents. um Maybe they'll see this the same way. Maybe they'll stop enabling her. Because based on the background of what I'm looking at, when I see her do her live, she seems to be living in a pretty comfortable environment. It's at least a pretty nice apartment. Good enough. So I don't think that she's hurting. Maybe from luxuries that some of us are not hurting from, but me, I live a very, very modest lifestyle. I enjoy uh I enjoy uh not being bound by my wants for nice things. uh I To me, it's very, very arbitrary to want things simply because so many other people have them. It's become some sort of a standard to live by, to have these nice things, the newest, most popular thing. I don't, yeah, I don't need, I don't need an Apple Watch. You know what I mean? I've got an iPhone. I don't even need that. Uh, but if I've got an iPhone, why would I need an Apple Watch? It doesn't make sense to me. So I don't need all these new gadgets and new things. I don't even need a car. I don't drive a car. I haven't driven a car in years, to be perfectly honest. I can drive a car. I'm actually one of the best drivers that I know, but I traffic stresses me out. So I just, and for a long time I couldn't afford to drive. And I probably couldn't now. There was a time where I could have, but uh, I getting to a point where I couldn't afford to drive. You learn that it is a luxury. At the end of the day, it is not a necessity. It's a necessity in the sense of if you have a job that's too far away, then yeah, you got to get to work. But but I, I've never had trouble finding a job close enough to me to where a bus ride or a walk wouldn't get me there. I always show up to work and I always show up on time. I don't need a car. Uh, it's nice to have one, but then again, it's another expense. I mean, how much money do people spend on car payments and gas? I don't have that problem. So, and yet I have a job. I have a job that I like. So, uh, you know, and like I have a PayPal here, but I'm never like, hey, donate money, blah blah blah. Again, if anything that I make off of this, that's gonna go towards computer hardware, or software, whatever, whatever to make the channel better. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm gonna find a way to somehow uh, make sure that for whatever reason you feel like, whatever reason you feel like donating money to me for, it's gonna go to good use. I want to make sure that you guys are getting what you're spending your money on. And even if it's just to support, well, that's cool. I'm grateful for that. But I don't go out and spend it on dumb shit. And I damn sure don't go out and spend it on drugs. What's funny is I smoke weed once in a while, but, and I'm open about that, but I never buy it. Just happen to hang around people who have weed sometimes and I smoke. I'm not going to say no when it's passed to me. It's a very social thing. And I still go to work every day. I still get my bills paid. I do everything I got to do. It's pure recreation. But and even if that were the case, even if it were the case for me to say, hey, I need weed money. Can you guys donate? I'm sure somebody would. But that's just not me. That's just not me, man. I just, the only reason I put up the PayPal is because I got emails from you guys telling me to put up a PayPal. So I did, and it's nice. And I'm grateful for the monetary support that you guys give. It's really cool. Because what it tells me is that you guys get something out of what I'm doing here. And that means everything to me. So, but I'm not, I'm not, gonna sit here and beg for money because I'm broke. I'm not gonna use this channel as some sort of means to get my bills paid. That's why I have a job. I have a job for that reason. It's, so for someone to go on there and talk about being an addict and start begging people for money, that's not that's not a good idea. So anybody who's listening to Mary Marlo right now and watching her latest videos, man, the worst thing you can do, I think, is to enable her, because by giving her money, like I said, in addiction, an addiction is like having a gun to your head, and giving someone who has an addiction is like giving them money is like putting bullets in their gun, so that's not a good thing, guys. So again, if Mary Marlo ever wants to, I mean, if you hear this and you just want to email me and we can talk in private, if you want, but I've been there and I get it. Uh, you know, I'll go ahead and say that I'm sorry for forever being mean. I don't like to be mean. I don't like to be mean to anybody. But um, I justified that in my mind because I thought that you were in your own way being very mean, and by providing your listeners with a lot of misinformation. Um, but I see now where it's really coming from. And I'm seeing it like for real now. Like I always suspected and I joked about it, but I'm seeing what it is for real now. And you really need help. You need to get help. And I'm actually rooting for you to get that help. So I won't be making Mary Marlo jokes anymore. I'm not doing that, man. Um, yeah, I'm just not doing that, man. Uh, I feel bad for her. But but it's only because, like I said, I've been there. So I think what she needs right now is tough love. And she needs to oh, thanks, Holly Love. I appreciate that. Uh I I think I think what she needs right now is tough love, and I think she needs anybody who's enabling her to be aware of the fact that you are being enabling, and try to be aware of whether or not you're being manipulated or not by a drug addict, and don't let that happen anymore, and help her in the best way that you can possibly help her, which is by not feeding her addiction right now. And it's rough, man. Because you know what it is? The side effect of being an addict, you can't escape this. The side effect of being an addict is basically being an asshole. There's just no escaping that. You're in some form or another, you're an asshole when you're just a full-blown addict who all you care about is getting you taken care of, getting your own. And I don't mean that in the positive sense. I don't mean that in the sense of taking accountability and start fixing your problems on your own. I'm talking about you feel like the world owes you something, and everybody should just understand where you're coming from, and you're only doing these drugs in order to deal with the reality of life, and blah 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 blah. And that's all bullshit. That's all that is. It is just all bullshit. And yeah, I although I acknowledge that it is a very long and tough road, um you're you're still responsible for yourself. You have to start. Nobody's going to fix these problems but you. Uh and I promise, once you start to do this, once you decide that you're going to take full accountability for yourself, and you're not going to depend on anyone else in order to make the necessary changes in your life to be a better person and create a better environment around yourself. um that's the result that's going to happen. You are going to have a better environment. People are going to want to be around you more. People are going to want to talk to you. People are going to want to help you. People are going to see you doing something good and want to support that. That's just what's going to happen, and it's going to be great. But in the meantime, if you're in a place, if you find yourself going, why doesn't anyone understand me? Why doesn't anyone get where I'm coming from? Why is everyone attacking me? Why is everyone saying this about me? Well, that's when it's time to start self-reflecting, because uh, you're not in the twilight zone, man. You're not in the twilight zone. That's not what's going on here. You are probably the person that numerous people around you who genuinely care about you, you're probably being that person, and they're worried about you and they want the old you back. And it's time to start doing for you. And it's time to start taking, because that's the thing is as soon as when you see somebody taking those steps, right? And this is, I mean, I'm talking people who have never even had to deal with addiction themselves, but people who see someone who is doing whatever they have to do to make their to fix their own problems. They're taking the initiative and they're taking the accountability and saying, I got to do this. They're not going, hey, you owe me and you need to help me. I can't do this by myself. You need to help me. Somebody who takes that kind of accountability and says, nope, I know what I got to do and I got to get to work. That's it. You're naturally more likely and more inclined to want to help them. But as soon as somebody points their finger at you and says, hey, man, you owe me. You're supposed to help me. You're supposed to be here doing this for me. That you kind of just, you naturally go, I don't fucking owe you shit, dude. I'm here because I want to be a good person. I want to try to help you. You know, that doesn't inspire anyone to help you. What does inspire is seeing you just take on as much as you can, handle it, get it done, and like, hey, man, let me lighten that load a little bit. You're doing a lot. Let me come over here and take this little bit off just to help you out. Whether it's, you know what, let me go to the grocery store for you, man. Or, you know, let me watch your kid, you know, go, you know, go play mini golf, go bowling and get out of your head. Now watch your kid for 2 hours, 3 hours, you know, go on a date, something, you know what I mean? That's what people do, man. That people wanting to do for themselves inspires other people to want to help them, not expecting help and not demanding help from other people, like as if the world owes you something, because the world doesn't owe you jack shit. I'll tell you that right now. You have a 400 trillion to 1 chance. 400 trillion. I can't even visualize what a trillion looks like. You have a 400 trillion to 1 chance of being born into this world as a human being. That is a gift. So that's the gift the world gave you. From then on, you're on your own. That's you got to keep it going. You were put here. It's time to see what you can do. That's what the universe owes you, and the universe lived up with its bargain, with its end of that bargain. Now it's up to you to start paying up. Now it's up to you to start showing some gratitude for being one of those 400 and trillion, being the one out of the 400 trillion to get put here, for winning that lotto. You know what I'm saying? So the world, the universe doesn't owe you shit. It already paid up. We're all out here just trying to do, we're just out here trying to make good on our end. I think we're all individually just trying, I'm trying to make good on my end. And that's it. I'm too focused on that. And if my end means sitting up here, part of that means sitting up here and talking to you and saying, hey, this is what I've been doing to be happy. Excuse me. This is what I've been doing to be a happy person. Yeah, Stephanie, gratitude is huge. Yeah. Gratitude is huge. Gratitude is everything. The power of gratitude is incredible. when you genuinely feel gratitude just for being alive, things around you start to change. People around you start to change. What's up, Cindy Bobbitt? How you doing? So, you know, I'm not up here preaching to anybody. I know it kind of sounds like that, but I'm not. I'm just telling you that I try to live my life this way as best as I can. And since I started doing that, I've been a happier person. That's all I'm saying. I like being happy. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like being happy. I get that. A lot of people don't like being happy. A lot of people are happy in their own misery. They enjoy it. I get that. I know there's a lot of toxic people out there like that. But you don't, if you're not one of those people and you genuinely want to be happy, this works. It works. Just being grateful, just being genuinely grateful for the people in your life, being genuinely grateful for having a roof over your head, being genuinely grateful for every single meal that you get that gets put right in front of you, whether you put it there or anything. Just the fact that you have taste buds, being grateful to have taste buds and enjoy your meal. That's something to be grateful for. That's amazing. That's amazing. So I try to focus on these things. I mean, think about it. If I'm sitting there, and I've got if I'm sitting there and I've got chicken in front of me, right? Fried chicken. And I've been eating it every fucking day, right? Every damn day I've been eating chicken. I could be like, man, I'm so sick of chicken, man. God, I'm so sick of chicken. I don't want to eat this anymore. But it's all you got, right? It's all you're going to get. Why would I take the experience of eating said chicken and make it miserable when I have the ability to make it positive and say, I'm happy? I'm really lucky to have this chicken. I mean, it's fried fucking chicken. It's delicious. Who the fuck doesn't like fried chicken, dude? It's delicious, right? So, I mean, I could either sit there and bitch and moan about the fact that and then eat it but be miserable about it and be like, fucking chicken sucks. Or I could be like, yo, fried chicken, dude. I wonder what the poor people are doing. This is delicious. Thank goodness that I have these taste buds, pescatarian too, man. It's an analogy, okay? Deanna, it's an analogy. I've been pescatarian before myself, actually. But even still, right? When you choose to be a vegetarian or vegan, let me tell you something. You can see the gratitude in other foods that you can eat without guilt. You get gratitude for that food, man. You can see it in the cooking. Nobody cooks better than a vegan, dude. Nobody cooks better than a vegan that's been vegan for like 10 years. I guarantee you're going to have the best meal you ever had in your life. And if you're sitting there going, oh, well, it sucks because there's no meat in it. No, it doesn't. You're still getting protein. They still find ways to get protein in there, but they make it way more flavorful. They put love into that because there's no meat. And because, especially if you're somebody who's never eaten a vegan meal before, they can't wait. Vegans can't wait to show you and go, oh my God, you got to try this. Just be open-minded. And they're going to make it to where it tastes so good for, they're going to try to make that experience so good for you. It's great. So, I mean, these are all expressions of gratitude. you could say thank you, but you know, it's showing someone that you're grateful for them and for the things that they do. That's where the real power is, man. Um, and I agree, Stephanie. Yeah, I agree with you. I've actually never been hunting, but I've always wanted to go. I mean, I'm a big meat eater, man. I love meat. I've actually got a steak marinating in some Dales since last night. I bought that steak. I froze it. I bought it weeks ago. Well, a few weeks ago, not even a week ago. I bought it a week ago, and I it's been in the freezer. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna eat this steak, man. And I'm so lucky to have a steak, and it's been marinating in some Dales since last night. I'm gonna end up cooking it late tonight, and I'm really really looking forward to it. But the thing about that is I I feel more. I mean, if you're gonna be a meat eater, I think there's more respect in actually hunting and killing your own food than getting it store bought. Um, so I would love to go hunting with someone who actually knows how to hunt and knows how to skin the animal properly and knows how to um who knows how to butcher it properly. I would love to do that. But I'm not gonna just go hunting just to kill things. That's not what I'm not doing that. Like I don't even fucking litter, you know? Like I smoke cigarettes and I feel shitty about blowing smoke into the environment, but I won't flick my cigarettes like I did when I was a kid, like, oh look how cool I could flick my cigarette across, you know. I don't do that. I squeeze out the cherry and the remaining tobacco and then I stick it in my pocket if there's no garbage can near me. But I will not litter ever. So um I just have that I have that way about me. Um and I have a lot of respect for people who hunt and kill. And yes, like you said, I remember that reminds me of that reminds me of that what you talked about here in this comment, Stephanie, the movie Avatar. Um and she kind of prays and she puts her hand over the animal's head and shows it respect and is and shows gratitude to this animal for existing so that it was there to give its life, literally give its life so that she and her loved ones could eat. um that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. um Yeah, I need to quit smoking, Holly. That's for sure. I definitely need to quit smoking. Um, but so you're not gonna harp on the Mary Marlo thing too much. I absolutely uh I I I know a lot of us have struggled with addiction and some of us still are. Um and I'm gonna talk more about this stuff another time. Um, I don't know, Breakfast Club. I don't know. Give it a try. But I'm definitely gonna talk more about this stuff in the near future. I may go on live again late tonight if you guys are down for that. But I'm really, really enjoying talking to you guys about this. And and I don't and I don't want to, yeah, I don't want to harp on the Mary Marlowe thing too much. It's just something that I observed, and I know I've talked about it before, and my feelings changed a little bit. So I thought it was only right to go ahead and share those feelings with you guys today, and to elaborate as to why I feel that way. So anyways, but yes, and yeah, uh if you guys are aware of the Gannon Stouch case. I think that's how you say his name. I really hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. But if you're aware of this case, there's a few creators out there that are covering it. I know Critical K covered it. She's talked about it last night. I haven't watched it, but the only reason I haven't watched Critical K's live on it was because I was live myself with Danielle from Real Massacre Talk. And so that live is now available here on this channel. You can watch it, but it's like 5 hours long. So if you're looking for something just to have in the background, go ahead and play that and listen to it. Tell us what you think. We went over the a television interview a few times that we found a bit shady and a bit messed up. And that's not to say, I want to be very, very clear about something. In this television interview, his stepmom Tisha, there's some discrepancies in her story, and she doesn't come off as somebody that I like very much at all. And I'm being nice when I say that. I think she's awful, to be perfectly fucking honest. But that's not to say that I think she's guilty of a crime. I want to be very clear about that. I don't necessarily think that she's guilty of a crime. We don't have any information yet. We don't have enough information to make those type of accusations or to jump to those kind of conclusions. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Sorry, I was looking at a comment there, but I'm concerned about. This is not, this is not a Chris Watts thing or a Shane Carey thing. We look at these things and we look at these television interviews and we try to kind of get an idea of the type of person that we're dealing with, and all the people that we're dealing with. You know, there was a press conference with Gannon's dad and biological mom, and they were pleading and begging everyone to continue to have hope that Gannon will be found alive, because but not to get too deep into the details of that. That live that I posted on my channel prior to going live here, you can get all those details. You can get all the details of the case there. And I'm sure Critical K went over most of these details, if not all of them, if not more, on her channel. So I would do, if you're interested in this case, I would definitely recommend watching and catching yourself up. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments there. So anyway, I thank you guys for joining me and the afternoon drive from work. I love you guys a lot, and I'll probably be on later on tonight just to kick it with you guys and hang out and have a little fun. But thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you. We will talk soon.